Housing is one of the essential keys to survival, and as housing costs continue to rise, find out what the Board of County Commissioners is doing to address the housing needs here in St. Lucie County next on Inside St. Lucie. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, Communications Director from St. Lucie County, and on today's show, we're going to talk about housing with my guest, St. Lucie County Commission Chair Kathy Townsend and Housing Manager Jennifer Hance. But before we meet our guests, here's some upcoming events and announcements from the Board of County Commissioners. St. Lucie County's Aquatics Division is gearing up for the summer swim season, offering lessons and activities for all ages. For details, visit stlucieco.gov/aquatics. The Oxbow Eco Center has a variety of summer camp programs available throughout June and July for ages 6 to 16. For details, visit oxboweco.com. Now for the latest updates about all St. Lucie County Commission meetings, workshops, and events, be sure to visit our website at stlucieco.gov and click on our comprehensive calendar. And if you'd like to be added to our press release distribution list, send me an email at pio@stlucieco.org. We'll be happy to include you. We're also on social media at St. Lucie GOV, so we hope you'll follow us there. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with the latest economic development stats with another St. Lucie Works. St. Lucie County's tourism revenue increased by 23% from March compared to March of 2002. Roughly 27% of the collections came from non-commercial properties through private vacation rentals. Overall, tourism revenue for the fiscal year is nearly 15% higher than last year. Overall building activity in unincorporated St. Lucie County increased in March by 46% compared to February, with 1,367 permits submitted compared to February's 933. According to the Florida Realtors Association, the median home sale price in St. Lucie County in March was $375,000, up 1.4% from last year, while condo values rose by 1.7% with the median price at $295,000. St. Lucie County's unemployment rate remained flat at 3.1% in March, the same since January. Statewide, the unemployment rate was 2.6%. The largest increase in the labor force in the Treasure Coast was in education and health services with 2,400 jobs, followed by professional business services with 1,300 new jobs, and government with 1,200 new jobs. If you're a local business looking for skilled or trained labor, be sure to contact the staff at CareerSource as they can assist your company with its recruitment and training needs. And if you're an individual looking for a job, they can help you as well. Visit the CareerSource online at careersourcerc.com or call 1-866-4U-to-HIRE. Welcome back to Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by St. Lucie County Commission Chair Kathy Townsend.
Good morning.
Commissioner, thanks for coming on. And Jennifer Hance,
Good morning.
Who I like to call Jen Hen.
Good morning, Eric.
Jennifer is our housing manager here for St. Lucie County, and thank you both for coming on the show because housing has been a hot topic, not just locally, but nationally. You know, the housing issues have been in the news about increased prices, not just with buying homes, but insuring your homes, HOAs, all that. So I know it's something, Commissioner, that not only our board has talked about, but recently there was a 4-county meeting with other county commissioners, and it was probably a 2-hour discussion.
It was longer than that.
Yeah, I was being generous.
Yeah, it was Okeechobee, St. Lucie, Martin, Indian River. Yep. We're trying to form a group so that we can have more pull and power in Tallahassee, and also to identify, because we all have the same issues in all 4 counties, and so we're just trying to figure out what we can do, what laws maybe we can go to Tallahassee, to our legislators with to maybe change, to make it a little bit easier, maybe with some planning and zoning changes. We know that we're going to have to definitely make some changes in the planning and zoning department in order to be able to make it a little bit more affordable for the developers to develop here.
And Jen, what do you think some of the misconceptions are about housing? You know, I think a lot of people may think we, or even commissioners, control the market or the values, which we don't, and it's really driven by supply and demand. I know at one point we had a low inventory of houses available, which is going to drive prices up. So.
Correct, and I think the fact that we are building a lot will help drive down the prices too, because we'll have more of an inventory as well.
Which, Commissioner, you and I have talked, creates the other argument of people, now that I'm here, right, I don't want any more houses built because I don't want us to become Miami-Dade. But Florida has very strong property rights, and if you've got a bunch of land out west and you can subdivide it and turn it into development, you legally can't tell them, no, they can't come before the board.
As long as they meet the code. I mean, there's a lot of things I think in our West Ag counties right now, currently today, that are shifting and changing. And I know that the concern for a lot of the people are, I'm in the country. They don't even like the fact that the city of Fort Pierce has grown as rapidly as it has. You know, those of us that grew up here and have been here forever, it is kind of a little bit challenging when you're going down the road and you have to sit for 30 minutes before you finally make it through the red light. But as long as you meet the current code, legally we have to. If we don't, that development's going to come in and the developer will sue us and they'll win. You have to honor property rights. They're there for a reason.
Yeah, and same thing with even insurance. The Board of County Commissioners
We have no control.
at the state level. And I was one of the 80,000 residents that were dropped by their carrier because my roof was more than 15 years old. So
And there was an increase this year, and I think those that are going to be getting their bill in the next 60 days, they're going to see an increase too. It's being addressed in Tallahassee and Washington, actually. All the insurance companies have raised their rates.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I have this conversation all the time. If you are somebody that's on a fixed income and you have lived here for a long time, you're being forced out of your home. Simply from your insurance and your taxes, the increase in electric, water, if you're on utilities, if you're in an HOA, everything has gone up. And so where you used to be able to live in your house, if you had a $2,000 or $3,000 a month income, you can no longer do that, even if you don't have a mortgage. I mean, put into the process of even thinking a car payment today is an average of $600 a month. So if you have the car payment with gas and your car insurance, no mortgage, but just the taxes and insurance alone with that, one person cannot be sustainable on $3,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to fix it. You know,
which is why we have these committees and advisory groups for people to give some insight, right?
Yes.
But Jen, let's talk about what assistance might be available for people. Because I remember, you know, I think '99 is when we bought our first house, or an only house. But I'm lucky to live in the same place for 20-something years. But there were Fannie Mac and
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Thank you. Yes. My wife took care of all that, so I just pay the bills. But is there still first-time homebuyer assistance, and do you all help with that, or at least steer them in the right direction?
There is a program through the state of Florida. Somebody can go to the Florida Housing Finance Corporation website and find assistance through the Hometown Heroes program, and that provides down payment and closing cost assistance. Here, local at the county, we have a focus on preserving our affordable housing stock. So right now we have a funding cycle open to assist residents in the unincorporated area with septic systems, roofs, and HVAC systems.
Okay.
So that's important because her and I were talking about this earlier. For those that need a new roof right now to be able to lower their insurance premiums and they can't afford it, we have a program in place right now that we will help you replace your roof. The caveat to that is as long as you live there forever, then you're good to go. If you should ever sell the home, then you have to pay the loan off. Is this correct?
That's correct, yep.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's unincorporated. Say I'm in city limits. So.
Yep, unincorporated, same as
Yeah, I think they pick areas throughout time, don't they? And then they just stay focused on certain areas.
The programs that are run through the county only service unincorporated areas, and then the city limits of Fort Pierce and Port St. Lucie have their own
They
programs.
get their own HUD funding,
Yeah.
which is a housing.
Correct.
And that's what I meant. Our
Yeah.
funding goes to unincorporated county,
Yes.
but the cities also get some of the same funding.
Correct.
That they can service their residents within their city. We are definitely talking about county, but it's also known, we need to let it be known, that if you live in the city of Fort Pierce or Port St. Lucie, they have the same funding
Yep.
for their community housing programs as
Yeah,
well.
they just might call it, I think in Port St. Lucie it's called NICE, right? Neighborhood
Yes.
Incentive Community. I forget what it stands for, but it's then go to their website and look over at the housing and it pops up. But Jen, I know during the pandemic we did have a lot of federal funding and state funding that came down to help with like rental assistance and mortgage assistance, and that we opened up countywide. It wasn't
Correct.
just for unincorporated.
We did, and it was, I think since 2020 up until, well, we're still spending our last bit of COVID relief money, but we administered over $18 million in emergency rental and mortgage assistance. So it was a very busy time for us.
Yes.
It was a wonderful program, a wonderful thing. There was a lot of people that would have not had a roof over their head.
Sure.
Yep.
You had a lot of people in the service industry that
Yes.
were out of work for several
Yes.
months, and that seems to be rebounding now when you look at the job numbers. That leisure and tourism
Yep.
is one of the biggest.
Just getting them through that hard time was a life-changing thing for them because it meant them avoiding homelessness or the potential for homelessness.
Sure. Now, speaking of homelessness, Commissioner, I know that's something that there's a homeless advisory task force that's looking at, and I know we've been talking about putting together at least starting with veterans first, right?
And so we formed a task force, and from that we now have the Homeless Advisory Board, and that we look at different issues, but the county itself, not as a part of the homeless task
Sure.
force. The county itself is looking at building a shelter on Edwards Road, and we are starting with the veterans, and then from there we'll phase into families and move from there. We're going to phase it in. The first phase, we are almost there. We did just get our appropriations this year, thanks to our legislators. However, the governor's not signed the bill. So those of you that care about homelessness, please email your governor, because we really need him to sign this bill for us. It was $850,000. With that and the other $800 we had in, it will actually fund the first phase of that we can get it off the ground and do the rendering and the design. And to build the project outright, it's probably $4 to $5 million. So my hope is we get to see it done.
Yeah, I think it's one of the challenges, and people don't understand with government. We always get a lot of, not always, but it's easy to get grants to build stuff, but not to maintain and operate it on an annual basis, which is sometimes the difficult part, right?
And I think if we definitely need, that is a conversation that we're talking about.
Sure.
I have suggested putting a referendum on the ballot that if every taxpayer would pay a line item of $10 towards the homeless shelter, it's enough funding to fund the shelter. And then eventually when we get it up and running, because it's going to have everything there, it's going to have to where it's a hand up in a transitional process.
Yes.
There'll be counseling, there'll be mental health. So the goal would be that when they are able to leave, we're helping them transition into leaving there with a job,
Yes.
a bank account, counseling on their medication, so that they're sustainable when they leave.
Yeah.
And so the bigger picture is you need to understand a lot of people that are homeless will go steal a honey bun to go to jail just to get a meal, medical, dental, and a bed to sleep in. And at $100 a day to house an inmate at the jail, it's a lot more cost effective to pay $10 a year to fund this shelter, and if it's ran properly. And then eventually I think to maybe have a nonprofit take it over and run it. Government shouldn't be in this business to run it and operate it. But you know, if we can find somebody that we vet and we know is going to be sincere and honest and reputable, to have them take over, like Graceway Village, they're a wonderful organization, but their focus is the mothers and children that are the single mother.
Yeah.
And so if their shelter gets going and they do well with it, then maybe they would be the recipient to take this over after we follow them. But for the first couple of years while we fine tune everything, it'll be done through the guidance of the county to make sure that everything is in place and the dollars are checked through our budget, and Jennifer does a great job, you know, watching the money and stuff. So I'm hopeful. This is something I have wanted to do for 7 years since I've been in office, and it's nice to see it finally come to fruition.
Yeah. Well, Jen, back to the housing front. Once these folks get through that transition and looking for affordable housing, which I know we're trying to transition into essential or workforce or another buzzword, because people think affordable housing is kind of low income, but you know, if you said we've got teachers and firefighters that can't get their first home because there isn't a workforce stock. But you all have partnered with a for-profit, Blue Sky, and that's broke ground and moving forward?
Yes. The first phase of that project, 82 units, will be available for rent in July of 2023, and then the second phase of 83 units, or 82 units, so 82 and 82, will be available January 2024. So that's been a great project. We had a wonderful partnership with Blue Sky Communities, and I think they're looking to do other projects here in the county.
Nice. So how were we able to get that accomplished, and how do we do more of that? Is it we had the land that we donated? Is that
correct? Yeah. So the land was the fact that we got the land was kind of an anomaly. We were escheated that property through the prior owner's non-payment of taxes.
Okay.
So we got that property and we looked at it to see what might be able to be done with it, and we put a request for proposals out there for a developer, and Blue Sky Communities was the responder. And in exchange for them providing those affordable units, the county is donating them that land.
Yeah. Another option we should look at is shipping containers. Have you seen those now? They're turning shipping containers into housing.
And I've seen them in their beautiful homes.
Some of them are
Yeah, they
amazing.
can
I've
them
seen
really
some
well.
that were absolutely beautiful. I would have lived in it.
Yeah, it's a stack of two-story
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Another avenue that we're looking at, and we've done a couple with Habitat for Humanity, is the land trust. So that's I think you're going to see more and more of those moving into the future. I think you're going to see several of those things actually moving out towards the airport as well.
Okay.
Some of the businesses coming out there will do land trust. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how it
Yeah,
works?
so a land trust is basically where that parcel of land is owned by the land trust. And so when the home buyer purchases the house on that land, they're only purchasing the structure themselves, and they're not purchasing the land, which allows the cost of the home to remain affordable for them.
So that's a direction that we are looking at to move for the essential housing.
Yes.
We're calling it essential
Essential,
housing because
not
affordable
workforce.
housing people
Yeah.
have the insignia of I get
it.
it's Section 8, and that's not what
Yeah.
it is. So the new term that we are using is essential
Essential.
housing,
Okay.
and some of the developers are having those conversations. There'll be long-term leases. And that's one way that we can get in there and build some houses that people might be able to afford. It's something that we're having conversations with.
And then who pays the property on that? Is it discounted property taxes because of the land, or I guess that's all how the sausage is made?
The homeowner would pay the property
Okay.
taxes on it.
All right, awesome.
So think about it. I guess a good example of that would be like Spanish Lakes.
Okay.
You go there and you build your house.
Sure.
You pay so much a month for your lot.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't own the lot,
Sure.
but you own your manufactured home or
Yeah,
your
yeah.
house. You own it.
Yeah.
Right? You can sell it if you want to leave. You can sell
Yeah.
it, but you pay a monthly fee
To basically rent
to
the land,
basically rent
lease
the land there. So that's kind of what a land trust would be
Nice.
like.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting in that Ford County meeting. There was a lot of stuff. People were throwing out ideas, maybe incentives for developers, like we do almost for targeted industries, right? If you're going to build more mixed-use essential housing, that are townhouses and not, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths with a pool for a 55 and up community, which, there's a lot of that being built, then you may get a tax break or, But I guess it's navigating what the state allows and what our current code
And
allows.
it is, and the thing is, we're not in this alone. Every county is having this. It's throughout the United States,
Yes,
not just
sure.
Florida. And so I think that eventually it will be figured out. And when it does, it's going to hit all 67 counties, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
I hope soon, because really the face of homelessness is not what it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's much different. It's a lot of elderly people actually that can no longer afford to be where they were. So
Or may not be ready to move in assisted living or afford to live in assisted living.
it's
Yeah.
a different face that you're seeing homeless today.
And it's interesting, my brother-in-law, were talking about this recently because he's kind of at the end of the baby boomer generation, and he said a lot of them are, there's 1,000 people a day moving to Florida, right? Like you said, this housing issue is not unique to our state, but we feel the impact's probably greater as more and more people are moving here, right? I heard Scott Baio's moving to Florida, right? So is Billy Joel. Everybody wants to live in Florida now. That's driving up demand, and which drives up the cost.
I think our inventory's back a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
think it is where it was 2 years ago. I think that I'm not saying we have an abundance of it, but I do feel that there is multiple homes. You can pick and choose.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you put your house on the market and it sells within 10 days anymore.
Sure.
I think that there is inventory out there that sits for a while.
Yeah. Jim, let's switch gears a little bit, talk about some other programs that Community Services offers to residents. I know the small with the auto repair assistance is really popular, and that opened back up recently.
Correct, yes. Our Human Services Division offers a minor auto repair to assist people who have small repairs that they need, like brakes or tires, and not having that vehicle is a barrier for them to getting to further their education or medical appointments or work. So we have that program. We also have an education assistance program to assist people with getting their GEDs, and several other types of programs to help promote self-sufficiency, giving them a hand up.
And all that's available on the Community Services website?
Correct, yes. They can go to St. Lucie, www.slchumanservices.org, sorry.
Or just Google St. Lucie County. It'll come up.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of programs. That's why I wanted to do this show. Every time somebody calls the office or I'm out and about, I'm able to, reference community housing, and they don't know about it. And so I think with so many people struggling with some difficult times right now, I'm probably going to make it a nightmare for Jennifer and her crew, and they're a very small office, but as long as the funding is there and it holds out, we want to be able to reach out to the people and help them. We don't want anybody to lose a job because they can't afford to have their car fixed or something like that. We have services that are available, we have funding that's available, and so many people don't know about it. Yeah. So I thought it was important to do this show to share with everybody, and maybe they're not watching, but somebody that is, somebody can let them know.
Absolutely.
So that's why I wanted to do it. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
And you guys have gone out and done outreach to, Earth Day festivals, things like that. You've set up booths and tried to get the word out as best you can. But like you said, we are limited staff, and it's tough to, be everywhere all the time. So, Jen, what's the next big thing? I know we've got a ribbon cutting coming up this month for a new housing project?
Yes, we have a project in partnership with St. Lucie Habitat for Humanity up in Lakewood Park. It's at De Leon Avenue, and it's a 2.2 acre parcel of property that the county is donating to Habitat for Humanity. They will be building 10 townhome units on that property through their land trust model. We also are working on a housing needs assessment in partnership with the City of Fort Pierce and the City of Port St. Lucie. That's supposed to be wrapped up in August or September, and there's 3 phases to that. One is the needs assessment. The second part is an implementation plan to help identify solutions for the things that we find in that needs assessment. And then the third phase of that is a education campaign for the public to educate them about why housing is important, all the things that it touches. It touches health, it touches our economic development, and also re-educate the public about what essential housing is, that it's not just Section 8, it's not just public housing, but it's housing for teachers and firefighters and your college students and our senior citizens, and it really needs to be accessible for all people.
Yeah, recent college grads that still have, $50,000 in student loans and trying to make it a car payment and a house payment, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it adds up quick. Now, the partnership with Habitat, is that going to be volunteers building that?
Yeah, they will have volunteers working on those projects.
Awesome. So if residents want to get involved with Habitat,
contact Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, don't have me, because I measure I measure 3 times and cut 8. I know that's not the slogan.
It's a great organization. It is. Habitat for Humanity.
I'll help move stuff, but don't put me with power tools. It's not a good idea.
We have several houses in Lakewood Park, a couple duplexes, that is a part of the homeless housing that we have. We have veterans in them. What do we have out there? 4?
There's about 13 properties that we deeded to Treasure Coast Homeless Services Council back in 2014, and those properties house eligible applicants of 50% of the area median income or below, and those properties are run and owned by Treasure Coast Homeless Services Council now.
I knew we had several houses out there in duplexes.
And Jen, you talked about surveys. I know there's a survey right now trying to get input from landlords and property managers to help identify what some of those costs are. And we put that out on social media, and we've had to kind of, because commissioners, you guys have taken the blame. Well, it's commissioners raising the taxes, that's why. And I said, well, commissioners have lowered your tax rate 3 years in a row. Well, then why did my tax bill go up? So you have to do that education, explaining that values times the property value, times the millage rate.
Well, that's the thing. You can, if you're like last year, property values were up, I think, 17%. So even with a lowered millage rate,
you're going to end up paying more.
You're going to end up paying more with a 17% increase. Now this year, I don't think property values are going to come in at 17% higher this year. So if the millage rate is lowered, you might finally see a decrease in your tax bill. Again, it's not going to be hundreds of dollars. Unfortunately, I wish we could find a way to make that happen. But I think like 1 mil equals something like $2 million or something
off the budget. Yeah.
So
2.5.
Yeah, I would love to be able to lower it a mil. That would be amazing. Yeah. So I don't know that we will be able to get there on that, of course. But
Yeah.
It was our 5-year strategic plan, though, that we were going to lower the millage rate for
Yep.
the next 5 years. So it will definitely get lowered this year
Yeah.
because that was a part of what the prior boards
Sure.
said. So
It's just that challenge of, like you said, everyone else has increased costs with insurance. And those costs are also with us, right? Fuel and and the demand for services. I think one of OMB's best slides shows staffing levels. Staffing levels are down to 2009, but yet the population is higher than it's ever been. So
things are more expensive. Materials are more expensive. Electric's more expensive.
yeah.
Everything's more
Health
expensive.
insurance costs.
And the other thing is we are very blessed in St. Lucie County. As you know, you're one of the employees. Our employees that come here stay, and the longevity stays. And so every year, cost of living, you get a raise. So you have to make up that 3 or 5% somewhere.
Right there, yeah. Not just us, but the other agencies you fund, the Sheriff's Office, the property appraiser,
So, there's a lot of things that factor into this.
Yeah.
That's why I love our Citizens Academy. If people have the opportunity to go to that, they really come out of that with a whole new mindset of how
Yes.
government really works. They get it.
It's just getting them signed up for it.
well, no, there's a lot of people who want to sign up for it, but it's just limited, and it
True.
fills up the first day.
Yeah.
The Realtors is getting ready to do kind of a little mini one.
Okay.
They're gonna meet. We're gonna take a little bus tour. We're gonna take a real quick trip and go over some stuff.
Nice.
And that's, I think, important because they're kind of like your front coming into the county, coming into the community.
They're the first
So
people
I-
when you're new that you're dealing with to acquire a home.
So
or-
I'm excited that they're wanting to
That's
be
cool.
involved
That's
and
a good
take that
idea.
on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun little day, I think.
If you need a speaker, let me know. I'm always willing to make stuff up.
I might take you on the bus with me.
Okay, let's do it.
You'll be a good tour guide.
I've tried. I've had some experience. I want to retire and run one of those little trolleys in St. Augustine. That's my goal.
I want to do a little tour
like that.
boat and take them out on the water and let them drink margaritas and let them have massages and give them a tour of the river and the Indian
Now
River
you're-
Lagoon.
now you're driving
That's
the
what
budget
I-
up.
That's what I want to do.
Well, Kusha, we're short on time. Is there anything we didn't get to mention, Jen, from the housing standpoint or resources where people should go to? I know 211's a partner of ours that provides a lot of good resource.
Yep, 211, the Florida Housing Finance Corporation. Also, there's a program through the Florida Department of Emergency Management called the Hurricane Loss Mitigation Program. And that program can assist with wind mitigation retrofits for their home.
Commission?
And if you would put the number to their office, you might want to put in the budget this year. You're going to need some more staffing to add to your budget. But if you would go ahead and give the number so that they can contact if they have any questions, that'd be great. Or call my office.
Yeah.
They always can, 462-1408. And no, I have nothing else to add except y'all keep being awesome, and thanks. You always do a great job.
All right, well, thank you. We try.
Did we miss anything that you provide that you didn't get to mention?
No, not at this time. I think we've covered the gambit for right now.
Okay,
All
thanks
right.
for being with me today.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
thank
you for
you,
having me.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with another project update.
St. Lucie County hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony on April 27, 2023 to commemorate the completion of the Taylor Creek Dredging Project. The dredging helps boaters better navigate the channel and remove unwanted silt and muck from the bottom of the waterway. This $3.5 million project was funded through the South Florida Water Management District, Florida Inland Navigation District, and a legislative appropriation administered through the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Crews removed roughly 85,000 cubic yards of muck sediment from the FEC Railroad Bridge to the Intracoastal Waterway Channel. The dredge spoil material will be dried and placed adjacent to the St. Lucie County dredging spoil site on the Treasure Coast International Airport property. Once it is dried out, the spoil site will be emptied for future reuse. Roughly 7 feet of muck built up in the navigation channel since it was last dredged in July 2004. The removal of muck sediment restores safe navigation within the Taylor Creek Basin and contributes to the overall health of the Indian River Lagoon by improving water quality and clarity. The engineer for the project is Dredging and Marine Consultants, with Gator Dredging serving as the main contractor. St. Lucie County's Public Works staff collaborated with the Environmental Resources Department to relocate 60 to 80 gopher tortoise burrows that resided inside the upland spoil storage site. St. Lucie County has a state-approved gopher tortoise relocation site and in-house staff certified to perform these relocation efforts.
We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Inside St. Lucie. We hope you'll tune in again next month. If you have topics or subjects you'd like to see covered here on the program related to St. Lucie County government, give us a call at 772-462-1791 or send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org. And if you'd like to see previously aired episodes of this or other SLC TV programs, visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/stluciegov. I'm Communications Director Eric Gill. For myself and the staff, thanks for watching.